Hi everyone, it's Diane Evans with stampinwithdiane.com. I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the interior of British Columbia. So I was just waiting for Facebook to catch up, but welcome to my YouTube Live. This is where it's Technique Tuesday, where I show you a technique that maybe you know, maybe I've with a twist. I've done a technique with a twist. I love to be able to join you, and it looks like I went on early. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's 4:30 now. Anyways, you guys, welcome. Remember, if you're joining me through YouTube, make sure that you subscribe down below, hit that bell. Now, the other part that you, if you join me through Facebook and my Facebook Live, what you need to know that all videos will be disappearing off of Facebook after 30 days. So you might want to start look into the link on my YouTube channel. So welcome. Like I say, we're doing a technique. It's Technique Tuesday, and we're doing a diffusing embossing folder. This is one way that we can actually get we can extend our embossing folders. So and remember one thing too, it's part of a live. So if I'm talking with different people as we go along, it's because of that. And with that said, hello, Pam. Yes, 4:30 is when I usually come on Pacific. And hello, Bobby. I haven't seen you in a long time. And Barbara. All right, so let's go down to my desktop and let's take a look at this. This is called diffusing embossing folder technique. I know I had diffused something from before, but this is actually a technique that we can take an embossing folder, and we're actually going to extend this a little bit more so that you've got more use out of your embossing folders, as if we don't have enough use out of our embossing folders as it is. Now, this is a distressed tile, and this is the one I'm going to use today. Remember, when I do the card, it's not really the focus is on the card, but the focus is on the technique. So I'm hoping that this is going to work okay. All right, so you do have to do some pre-prep ahead of time. Now, you got to figure out, and this won't make any sense to you until you actually see the thing, but you need to figure out when you diffuse part of an embossing folder, excuse me, it means that you're taking part of that embossing folder way that it, like what it embosses, you're taking it away. So I decided I was going to use, oh, this is the wrong envelope. I was going to do the linked in one, and it's this oval that's there. I just gave you a name of another one that's coming out very shortly. It'll be available on March the 4th. So anyways, with this, and I'm probably going to be showing some other stuff. Now, this is a good oval. I probably would have liked to have a bigger oval, but we're going to work with this, and then you'll see how it works, and then I can go ahead and maybe do some other ones. So what you need to do is you need to get, you know how the backing off of your designer series paper, and let me just show you what that would be. You know this hard piece that's on the back of your emboss, on the back of all of your designer series paper, except for the specialty paper, but it's this one here, and it has all this on here. That's what you're going to use. We talk about recycling things. This will be a great way to recycle this. Now, I cut it into 4 pieces that were 4 inches by 5 1/4. Now look, I thought I had one of those extra pieces because I really need to show you how to do this. Yeah, I do. All right, so this is just 4 by 5 1/4 because this is probably the piece that I am going to be doing the embossing on. So I went and I took this particular one and I marked it at the halfway mark there and the halfway mark there. Now, I will tell you, I didn't eye this up very good. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put this oval here, and you're going to cut it out. So that part's the easy part, right? Then you're going to take your second one, and you could, you know what, it probably would be good to put repositional tape on there. So I'm going to put repositional tape on there. Now I'm going to give you a clue. Go the rough side. Don't go shiny to shiny side, because if you do, what's going to happen is you're going to get mixed up with the way that it goes. Because if you put it on uneven, it's going to, it'll be a little bit hard putting them together. Now what you want to do is you want to put that die in there in such a way, like I usually just set it in there. And you can feel that that's where it goes to. And then you're just going to, I'm just marking that and I'm running that through my embossing folder. So I've gone ahead and done that ahead of time. And I've done 4 of them. So then this is what they look like. So they're just like this. You'll see some of them are not quite the right way. And the reason being is I may have to switch them around. But I want them to be even. So let's just go ahead, make sure that they're even. There we go. Now, I didn't do this ahead of time because I wanted you to see how easy this really is. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to glue these all together. And I don't want any of that glue oozing out because it's going to make a difference to your, because this, what we're making right now is a diffuser. All right. So we've got 1 on there and we really want to make sure that we've got that there. I'm going to go ahead and attach this one together. We'll put that right together. And by putting them over top, like I showed you how you did that, you're going to get them all in the same spot, approximately. And then one last one. And I found 4 was the number I needed. You could maybe do 5. And we might be able to get away with 5. I didn't try 5. I just tried the 4. So we've got that. That's our diffuser. Now, we've got all these other ovals as well. So I thought, why don't I just attach them together? Because this is another way that you can do this. And once I've got this all done, so you want to glue those together. And I thought this was best to show you how this did instead of just going with my diffuser. And I'll probably end up using this quite a bit. I remember doing this once with a certain embossing folder, and I made a tree, and it was really kind of effective. But I've been hoping to get that kind of an embossing folder for quite a while in order to do this technique. Now, just to let you know, tomorrow I will not be coming on with my mystery challenge. And the reason being is I have an in-person class tomorrow, and I never do a class. You know what, that might even be too thick. No, maybe not. Okay, so we'll put that away so that we don't lose that. All right, now this is what we're going to do. Now, if I was using the bigger embossing folder, I might have cut these into 6x6 sheets. But because this is the smaller amount, the smaller bit here, that's why I'm going to put it in there. Now I want to emboss this piece, and I decided I was going to go with a light colored piece so that you could actually see it. So I'm going to come in like this. Let's just put that right in the embossing folder, just like that. And then we want to close that up. And then we're going to come in with this piece here and lay it right over top of where that is. And you know, I'm going to come in with my Post-it note tape, and I'm just going to actually stick it on there. Now, this is kind of a nuisance. You know what? I want to have that right over to that side over there and down to the bottom. And we're going to trim this off afterwards, I think, just a tiny bit. And then I'm just putting that down there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with my my cut and emboss machine, and I know this is kind of big to be on here. Now we are going to come with the number 1. Normally what we do when we use the 3D embossing folders, we usually use a number 4. We're not going to use a number 4 because remember I've got 4 pieces of that cardboard on there. So we're going to come in with a number 3. So I'm just going to come with this. Going to put it on there like you normally would, but I'm coming in with a number 3 plate, not a number 4 plate. Anytime you have to really force anything through your embossing, cut and emboss machine, it's telling you don't do it because you can wreck your machine. So what I'm going to do, hello Judy, I'm just going to run through that twice. And, whoops, I'm going to take this all off. Whoops. All right, now this part is going to be a little difficult to get off. Well, probably not because it's pretty well used. I'll just use that again. We're just going to take this diffuser off. So we've made our own diffusers is what we've done. So this is an oval diffuser. If I want to do a circle diffuser, if I want it down more in a certain part of the card, I can do that as well. We all have so many of these pieces from there, so that's why we want to do that. Okay, so this is where the magic goes. So we're going to open up this embossing folder and look at that. There is no embossing right on that part there. See how that worked? So that basically diffused that part. Now what I want to do is I want to show you a couple of other colors so you can see it a little bit better. This one was with the distressed tile and this was with the petunia pop. You can kind of see that. You know what, I'm wondering if I should take the light off of here. Maybe you can see that. Yeah, what a wow factor, right? And here is the tile and it's smooth right there and on the other side. All right. So we've got that like that. Now remember I said, oh, I'm going to show you another way to do it. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to show you this for now. I'm going to come in with another piece of cardstock. Oh my goodness, what color do we want to use? Let me use, do I have some petal pink or some pretty in pink? Just going to take a piece and I want to show you what we can do with that oval piece as well. You know what? I've got a piece right here of petunia pop. Let's go ahead and use that. Now it's really important that it's the same size as this. So this one's a little bit bigger. So let me get my trimmer and we'll just cut that down. So you're almost getting a twofer with this particular one today. All right, let's just get rid of my trimmer's stuff out of the last. And we want this to be 4 by 5 1/4. Because that's the size of this. If you, like I say, 6 by 6 might be good, then you can also use it for your bigger ones. All right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put that right in there, just like that. Remember, you have this line down at the bottom, right? There we go. Now what we want to do is, remember this part that I glued together, I can have it going this way if I want. So let's just have it going that way. It's okay. I'm going to try to get it centered. And I'm just going to tack that down. Bring in my cut and emboss machine again. Now remember, we have our regular number 1 down here. We're putting this as a 3D embossing folder. It is a different sandwich when you're using a regular embossing folder. And then we're not using the number 4. We're coming in with a number 1. Where did my number 1 go? Oops, it's right underneath. Okay, so my number 3. And we're just going to put that through and just run it through. And I'm going to do it the opposite way. I really don't need to. See, this is why I don't. You like a twofer, yeah. All right. And then I can show you this one. So, like, I'd love to see you use this technique and see what you do with it. Okay, so like I say, we use that as a diffuser. We're going to come in and see now we only have that area that was put onto. That is embossed. The other area isn't. So this is where, when I said years and years and years ago, I had a shape. So if I had a certain shape that I wanted to do and I wanted that on there, I would use this technique. But I'll do that later on when I get an appropriate one. Okay, so let's go back to this one here. So make your own diffusers. And you know what? At this point, you're making them. I've glued them all together. Let's just keep them in a spot that we can use them. Right? Okay. So we'll just put those over there. But this, like I say, because I had all that pressure there, that's why that showed up there. Wasn't a great example because it's better with the shape. All right, so let's go back onto our technique. Now, I want to trim this down just a bit because I am using probably my favorite color combination. I'm going to use basic black. I do have some pecan pie. I used to use soft suede, so that's 4 by 5 1/4. Now remember, this was 4 by 5 1/4. I want to cut this down by just by 1/8. I sure hope this trimmer will do this. It looks like I need new blades in here. So, anyways. And you know something else? I got to tell you, you got to make sure that this track is clean. And it looks like I got a dirty track. So, I am going to take this down at the bottom and cut it. So I want this 3 7/8. That's because it's clogged up there. That's why I'm coming in here. So I want 3 7/8. And this is embossed, so I'm going to start in the middle and go out both ways so that it doesn't quite tear it. And look at that, I didn't really cut through there. I'm just going to come in with my snips and do something like that. And then I'm going to come, and this is at 5 and it's at 5 2/8 that we want it. Now I've got that back up at the top because this is where this is clogged, and it looks like there's something really deep in there. Oh, look, that'll work now. Boy, that was something. Now, what you can also do, remember to do this, is take a toothbrush and clean that track out regularly. Okay? All right. So we're going to go to 5 1/8. And I'm starting in the middle. So that I don't tear that part. You know, at that point, that might be smart to go ahead and we could put ink on here. We could do a lot of different things, but this should be just a tiny bit smaller. There we go. Just a tiny bit there. All right. And then let's go ahead. Now, I wish we had a really nice ribbon that would go great with this, but we don't. So, all right. Now, remember that this is really, really smooth, right? So now what I could do is I could take any kind of a stamp and I could go ahead and stamp it. So I'm trying to think of a stamp that would be really good that's got quite a bit of room in it. You know what might be good is the sketched butterflies. It has hope is a beautiful thing that flutters in the soul. That one's nice. Or wishing you a beautiful birthday. I think that's the one I'm going to use. I'm hoping that'll fit. It would fit this way. There we go. Now, see, this is what I mean. You could do it down lower or higher. And now I'm just going to come in with... Ooh, here. We're also going to stamp this because I want to make sure that it goes and it's in the right spot and it's straight. Faux patina, you're right. Any of those things that you can do with an embossing folder would be amazing as well. Yes. Like I say, there's so many techniques that you can use. Embossing folders, that's crooked, and embossing. So let's go here. That is such a beautiful one. Ooh, that's still crooked. I know I don't put my backings onto my stamps. I just get used to stamping that way, and it's funny because the girls are getting that way too. They're pretty good. I usually I like to line up the bottom of this so that it's straight. Okay, oops, look, I got, you know what, we might even be distressing a tiny bit of this. Okay, so we're just going to come in here. Let's go ahead and put that right here. So see, like I say, I can now stamp and it's not embossed on there. Okay, just like that. And then see how that is there. Let's distress this. Let's hope this works out okay. Not sure. So I do happen to have pecan pie. Pecan pie, like I say, is one of those sleepers, right? So let's just come in here. Hopefully this is going to look okay. Let's try it on the back side. Ooh, that's kind of, I think it's because of what's in the sponge. Or maybe crumb cake might be better on there. That means that I'm going to have to get a clean sponge. So I'll just come in and I think I'll use just crumb cake because that'll give me a really good, just a distressed look. And this is also going to show up that technique a lot more, right? See how that shows up? Here, to show you. See how that shows up a little bit more? And then what I thought, I know I need some, I would love to be, oh, you know what, that might work. No, maybe not. I was thinking there's crumb cake here. This is that thread that goes, you know what, that might even just go. Yeah, it probably will. All right, so I'm actually going to use this. This is the one that comes with that beautiful bird one. What's it called? And this is pecan pie. Just to let you know, pecan pie, I mean, this is the Natural Tones linen thread here. But this copper clay is going. It's one of last 2 years ago in color, and it's going. So I'm just actually going to use some of that. I think that'll look okay. If not, I can use, this is a crumb cake. This is the linen thread. I got to be careful because see, this is quite weak because I went and I trimmed it. So we could even go and distress that more and make it more distressed. But I want this to, I want the tie to actually go over here. And we're just going to, but see how that's so neat that it does that. Now we're not finished with that, so. Oh, you know what? This isn't going to go with what I was going to use, but let's come here. Do I want to tie a bow? Maybe. Let's see what a bow looks like. This, to me, this used to be, this and gold used to be my mom's favorite color combination, and she used to use it a lot. I think of her every time I use these colors. Think of her often, but yeah. Mom used to, this used to be actually be her place because she rented out my basement suite, or she stayed in my basement suite, and this is where I've got my studio now. Okay, now that's pretty loose, so how you can make that so it's not so loose is come in with your tear and tape. We're just going to tighten that up from the back side. You don't see that back side anyways. Okay, so that's that to begin with. Now remember, this is going to go onto this part here. Now I also have a couple of other things that I've got. Now my Memorable Blooms has this amazing die, and I think it's one of those ones that you can use over and over and over again. So see, that's really not doing anything. Now if I use copper clay, it would have. I am just going to see what copper clay would look like instead of that. It's still available, so gonna miss this color. This is one of those colors that I'm going to miss. So let's see. But then that won't work. You know what? I'll come in and use something else. We'll take that thread off. I'll just cut it off. There we go. When in doubt, right? We're just going to change that. See, I really want to put these on there. Yeah. So let me just get some glue on there, and we'll let that set so that it doesn't. So tomorrow, no mystery challenge, but I'll be back on Thursday at 4:15 with a now what. Not sure what we're going to do. Is there anything that you'd like to see me make or do? I'd really like to show you some of these scrapbooking kits. Okay. So we do have, I'm just going to let that go, and I'm going to come in with my linen thread instead. Let's try again. Stay with me. Yeah, this will be fine. Ooh, black would have been okay too. What do you think? Maybe black? This comes with the essentials. Yeah, black will work. Oh my goodness, you guys. Very indecisive today. There we go. Yeah, I wish they'd come out in individual colors with this twine, because sometimes you don't want ribbon on you. Sometimes you just want something that gives a bit of a look. So used a lot of that black. Oh my goodness, I shouldn't be using this black. I need it. Anyways, another project that I'll share while I'm away. So excited to go. It's week yesterday we go. Very lucky. Laura's staying with me, or staying at the house. So okay, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to put some more of that tear and tape. Yes, we have lots of choices, don't we? All right. I'll keep it. This is going to go onto this part right here. Yeah, that pecan pie was just a tiny bit too. I think maybe it was the sponge I was gonna, or the blending brush I was gonna use. All right, so that's just gonna go there. I'm gonna give a haircut to this. It's gonna go onto here. Really want to go a little closer. I don't know, this reminds me of something with that birthday, that font that's in there. But these are the memorable blooms, and it's a sleeper, I think, in the catalog. Okay, so let's go ahead and just put this down. And it's going to be flowing here. And I'm also going to put one there. We go. To get that off. Okay, then what we want to do is we want to trim this. Now in here, the memorable blooms, I don't have at this edge of, or this end of the table, but I should have that other stamp set right here. And this is from a new up and coming stamp, or yeah, stamp set. Beautiful bundle, and it's something botanicals. Just gonna stick that there. And then another thing that is available, oh, that's textured notes that it came from. So this will be available March the 4th. It's an online exclusive. But check these out. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I've used a lot of those already. I could say. But look at that. Like I say, distressed stuff. Didn't give any measurements for this card. It's pretty simple, straightforward. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to use this pecan pie ones here. So let's come on here. I think the black looks amazing as well, but I've used so much of that black already. I think it's about time that we finally have some neutrals back. And there we go. Wishing you a beautiful birthday. See, that's, just put that there. So it's pretty plain, it's pretty neutral. It would be great. You could give this to certain people. I could definitely, hello Dolores. Your mom's colors as well, Pam? Yeah, this is definitely my mom. But I can also say that Soft Sea Foam and Pool Party are definitely my mom as well. All right, so there we go. There's our technique for today. It's a diffused embossing folder. We made our own diffusers. You might find lots of companies come out with these diffusers, but you've got where you can use the diffuser yourself. So we didn't do that part there. And then on that other one that I did, which really doesn't work well with an oval, but there's where we just picked that one part that we want to have embossed. You know, I can think of another technique that you could do with this using the oval. Anyways, all right, so I hope you enjoyed that. Remember to give me the thumbs up, share my video if you like that, and also make sure that you do try this technique. I would love to see what you've done, different shapes that you've done. I'm a big oval person. I love ovals, and we finally have some ovals, and there's a couple of more ovals that are coming in with the online exclusives, so I'm hoping that you'll like that. If you live in Canada, I'd love to be your demonstrator. If you have any questions or anything that you'd love for me to do, I would be more than happy to answer those questions. And remember to create, because it's great for the soul. And we will see you not tomorrow, but on Thursday at 4:15 Pacific time. Bye for now.